Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday.
Sorry.
Thank goodness. TGIF. We've made it.
I just like shot it out of my head. I don't know. I'm like, hello, good morning, folks. It's been a long week. I think
It has been weather-wise,
and
everything. Yeah, everything going on. I know you've been busy.
Some personal stuff going on right now. Yeah, a lot going on. Life happens, folks. But fog. That's been the story this morning, though.
Yeah.
Very dense out there.
Yeah, I know. I walked out the door this morning and it was feeling kind of eerie, a little spooky.
I love it.
Which is great because it fall's right around the corner. Halloween's almost here, so that's great. Not so great for everyone who's commuting this morning. You do want to be really safe and careful on the roads. I know that you mentioned on air today, really important that you're using your low beam lights just to make sure that you're not blinding yourself or others as the morning commute goes on. And it sounds like the fog's going to be sticking around for a few more hours.
At least to about 10 o'clock for most places. Now, further south, say south of Craven County, there's nothing going down to the coast. It's beautiful, sunny.
Good.
Further inland, it's just very dense fog out there.
Okay, great. So before we get into the rest of your forecast, including the weekend forecast and what we're looking ahead to next week, we do have a story out of New Bern. Yesterday was the first day of the early voting period for their municipal election. Election day itself is October 7th, but the early voting period did open yesterday at the Stanley White Recreation Center down in New Bern. And we spoke to a few voters about the importance of this election. I know that this election includes all 6 alderman seats in the city of New Bern, as well as the mayoral race. So we're going to take a look at what our Stephen Glover reported on yesterday and what voters had to say on the first day of the early voting period.
Come out and vote. Come out and vote.
Thursday's the start of early voting for New Bern's municipal election. Voters fill up the Stanley White Recreation Center as they wait to fill out their ballots.
I think a whole lot more people need to come on out here and vote. Come on, come on, come on.
Residents are voting for the next mayor, and all 6 of the city's alderman seats are also on the ballot. For Randy Turan, he shared that he's voting early because he wanted to make sure his vote counted.
There's been a lot of contention about votes not being counted. People that don't exist are being able to vote. And so I just wanted to make sure I put that ballot in myself and scan it.
New Bern residents are also getting a chance to vote on a city bond referendum for proposed city upgrades. Odessa Green emphasized the importance of showing up to the polls.
When you're sitting around complaining about why you couldn't get this done in the city or why you couldn't get this petition or whatever, then you think about who you went to vote for or who you didn't go to vote for or if you had anything to do with it at all, and then you sit down and don't cry about it because it was your fault.
Early voting runs from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday at the Recreation Center. The last day for early voting is Saturday, October 4th, and Election Day is October 7th. Terrain says voters should come to the polls to make a difference for New Bern.
Get your voices out there and let's stand together and do the right thing and make this town a better place to be in.
Yeah, so like Stephen mentioned, early voting is going to be happening for the next few weeks leading up until Election Day on October 7th. So Monday to Friday, you can cast your vote at the Stanley White Recreation Center. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. are those hours, and then the final day of early voting is going to be the Saturday right before Election Day. So cast your votes. I mean, I've early voted in the past, and I think it's a really great opportunity to just, get it done, exercise your right to vote. And have your voice heard in the community. I think that's really important, and it's also helpful because when you go to the early voting periods, you're not stuck in any kind of long lines.
Right, I did that last year for the election that was here, and I mean, where I was, it was like, okay, you have a real simple process, come in, give them whatever ID verification, do your little voting, and then get the sticker and go home, kind of deal. And you say, hey, you made an impact on this, and like she said, if you don't vote, certain things, certain outcomes, you know what I mean.
Yeah, so. And I know usually Election Day is, I believe that's a Tuesday.
Yes.
So a lot of people are working during the day, so it might be hard to, catch a time during lunch to get your vote in if there are a lot of people there. So take advantage of the opportunity to early vote. It only takes a few minutes. If you want to make an impact on your community, this is a really important time. And New Bern is actually one of the few places here in eastern North Carolina that has an election in October. A lot of them are in November as typical elections happen. But I know that New Bern, I know that Elizabeth City, and I believe Rocky Mount are also some of the cities in our area that have elections also October 7th. So same goes for them. If you got early voting, take advantage of it, but also mark your calendar for election day if you're in those areas.
Yeah, good stuff, and hopefully the weather's going to be nice today.
Great.
The next couple of days
Awesome.
to do that.
Which is wonderful to hear.
Absolutely. So there's no excuse to get outside, be
Why
inside,
not?
right? You see, of course. But this morning, though, do watch out for the fog. That is something we're carefully monitoring here. Very careful. A lot of issues with visibility down to 0 to a quarter of a mile or less for a lot of locations, and that's what we're going to be seeing that this morning here. So if you drive on the roads, take it slow and easy. A lot of you are now out getting ready for work and school on the roads this morning. Just be mindful of those jurisdictions, especially those fields in the middle of our back roads. We have a lot of those around here, especially in Big County. All this farmland, everything like that. So be mindful of the deer. Those are running out town where you got the bears and all the animals are running around. So be careful with that. Dense fog advisory continues till 10 o'clock this morning here. Everybody shaded in gray. South of that, Craven County line, Lenore County line, you're not in the advisory, but you do have some pockets of visibility that are causing some issues with that. Nice little sunrise over towards the Neuse River camera this morning there in New Bern. The water's calm, collected. There's a couple of boats just anchored out there. If you were out there this morning, send us a picture. We might put it on our sunrise program next week, so you never know. A little here further inland, you're seeing the clouds and the fog out there here in Greenville, overtaking our camera there along Arlington Boulevard. Even down towards Stewart's Parkway this morning, that's where visibility is still being at 0, if not less than a quarter of a mile or less. So over the next couple of hours, slow and steady on the roads this morning. About 10 o'clock, most of that fog should be lifted and out of our way. Air temperatures outside are pretty comfortable, not too terribly hot. Of course, we've talked about the last few mornings has been pretty comfortable, and that's why we got this dry air here for stay due to the lack of moisture we're seeing, so we got that into play. We'll get the drought monitor and we'll talk about tropics at 8 o'clock because that'll be new updates, advisories by that point in time. But overall, though, we've got quiet weather around the east, some clouds off the coastline. That's really not going to be impeding us today. Maybe a stray sprinkle if you get little drops of rain here or there along the Outer Banks, south of Rodanthe to about portions of Emerald Isle. You may see a light, isolated, spotty drop of rain, but that's really about it. It's all associated again with this little unorganized low pressure that's trying to form. It has not been successful the last several days with that. So here's your drought forecast, or drought monitor outlook here. And yeah, we need some rain. We were talking about this the last few weeks that has been dry.
Yes.
And now evidence has come to show.
Now we're really seeing these dry conditions out there, and still not a lot of rain to help it.
Unfortunately not. So, because last year about this time, remember we had the impact of Helene. That was in that, and then we got the drought forever.
Right.
We thought we'd never get out of this drought.
No,
So
it was months and months on end.
so unfortunately, we're going to probably see those expanded on moderate drought next week with that too. No winds to report out this morning. We're pretty calm and light. All right, again, visibility will slowly improve by 9 o'clock. Say by 10 o'clock, definitely most of the clouds will begin to break apart. Mix of clouds and sunshine will be our friend here for this morning, and then we'll warm up to the upper 8 to mid 80s this afternoon. Heading out to some Friday night football tonight, looking good all around. No real issues with football forecast. Plenty of clear skies coming into play. We've got tailgate tomorrow if you're going to be down there at ECU against BYU. Most of us are going to stay fairly nice. A little on the humid side, but tolerable. Not going to be sweating out like we were a few weeks ago. We left that little 10% chance of an isolated sprinkle or a quick raindrop here or there, but it is looking unlikely, so we may take that out the forecast this afternoon. Looking good for kickoff at 7:30. Clear skies again, watching out for those coastal clouds. That's really maybe a stray sprinkle, and that's going to be a drop of rain. Quiet tomorrow morning with some fog, so the models are indicating that we could see some fog again tomorrow morning. Not as dense, hopefully, as it is this morning, but overall, the forecast showcases some pretty quiet weather, some isolated stray sprinkles towards the coast, but overall, inland areas stay dry, no issues with that. Winds today are not going to be an issue, but tomorrow, though, they start to pick back up. Unfortunately, it's going to get pretty windy along the coast, so at 10 to 20 miles an hour, that probably means there's going to be an increased surge of rip currents. Again, this weekend, we'll talk about that tomorrow when that forecast comes out. But inland areas, though, not looking too bad. Again, we're going to stay quiet, not much rain till about maybe late Sunday, Monday is going to throw back some moisture. We'd have a backdoor cold front coming in Saturday, and then again we've got some frontal moisture off the coast that may kind of slowly move its way in, but not a lot of rain expected with that each day. Just a slim chance of showers in the forecast, which is why we got that for the coastal forecast as well. Upper 70s to low 80s. Not a washout, but again, just something to keep in mind as you're going to be out and about over the next few days. Upper 80s today, mid to low 80s at least through Saturday through Monday. Back in the upper 80s, we could pop a 90 by Wednesday there, and then we're going to get much cooler again as we head towards next Thursday and Friday with another chance of a few showers and thunderstorms.
We are just on a roller coaster of weather conditions out there. I mean, over the last few weeks, we've been seeing some below normal temperatures. I know all summer we were dealing with super hot and humid temperatures. Now we're seeing another round of that today, and then we're going down, and then we're going back up. It's just all over the
But at
place.
least we're in the 80s. You know,
This
like
is true.
we're not like
This
we're
is
going
true.
from 80, 60, 50, 80, you know, kind of
not a
deal.
super
Right,
significant jump.
right. I mean, it's usually common this time of year because we're
Yeah.
transitioning from from summer to fall, and
Yeah.
summer is just having a hard time letting go. So
I know,
you know,
and I mean, it's good that summer is sticking around, especially for this final weekend of summer before fall really kicks up next week. So really nice time to maybe check out the beach, like you said. You did mention some possible moderate rip currents.
Moderate rip currents are possible for our northern Outer Banks tomorrow. Maybe the Crystal Coast should be fine. I say if you're south of Buxton towards Ocracoke South, looks to be pretty good, but north of that up towards Kitty Hawk and Kill Devil Hills, probably a higher risk of some rip currents at a moderate stage.
Okay, great. So yeah, just looking at this forecast here, things are looking pretty nice. I know obviously we do need that rain out there with those dry conditions. Kind of heating up around our area, but hopefully you can all enjoy the sunshine after this week. I know we dealt with a lot of gloomy days, we dealt with a lot of overcast skies, so nice to see the sunshine return and stick around for a little bit.
You mentioned there's dry conditions too, the fall fire season on top of that, so we don't need to be resulting into sporadic wildfires. And I know people want to get out there and burn leaves, and that's okay and all, but still, you know, thank goodness there's no burn bans issued. So as of now, if we don't start seeing a lot of rain, most likely we're going to maybe start seeing some burn bans pop up here for the
I think
upcoming
that's a
fall
really
season.
good point to bring up, considering that, I mean, I'm already seeing a few leaves starting to fall here. We're not totally there yet, but I've noticed a few of them turning and falling, and I know that can in turn become a lot pretty soon.
A lot of dry weather with the leaves, especially in the fall season. If we don't have a lot of rain in the fall season, we don't get a pretty foliage either. So that really hinders a lot of those pops of colors we like to see. And we'll get equal amount of daylight. We just need enough soil level in the ground to make sure those trees can photosynthesize. So here I'm already going to Science 101 with this. But overall, we need some rain to really get some things under control.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to pop up before we dip out for the morning. I'm just going to pop up this forecast one more time for anyone who's joining us. Good morning, happy Friday. Hope you're all having a wonderful morning so far. Just be aware if you're on your morning commute this morning of that fog, especially kind of in our area, Pitt County and northern areas. I know that you mentioned the southern counties. They're pretty much in the clear.
You're in the clear. South of Craven County to the beach, you're pretty good to go.
Okay, awesome. Well, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us here. I just want to say hello and good morning to George. Hope you also have a great weekend. We're going to be back at 8 a.m. for another news and weather update, so hope you can join us then. Have a good one.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Toyota of Goldsboro.